See, wars are easy to start, but they're not easy to end. Now, Israel and Iran, for the past few days, have been having intense back and forth with aerial strikes, missile bombardments, you name it. Now, the United States on Saturday made a devastating, stupid decision by actively being involved in the conflict by joining Israel by bombing 3 nuclear sites in Iran. Now, perhaps Trump was ill-advised or Trump was tricked. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Point is, we're in it now. And so you just can't punch somebody in the jaw and say, all right, time out. It's over now. You guys go to both sides of the aisle. That's not how it works. That's not how wars work. And yesterday, throughout all of social media, and many of the most diehard Trump supporters who've been supporting Trump with his military actions and support for attacking Iran were saying, oh, we did it. Trump deserves a Nobel Peace Prize. Ceasefire. Do we have a ceasefire or do we not have the ceasefire? Because for all intents and purposes, Iran launched missiles at Israel, and Israel is now also planning on doing retaliatory strikes back at Iran. So Trump's big boast of his big, beautiful peace deal is nothing more than a hot air, and I think now Trump is realizing that he might have been tricked. He might have been fooled, or either that. He's in something now that he can't pull out of, and he drops a bomb too, an F-bomb.
Do you believe that Iran is still committed to peace?
Now, the reporter asked, do you believe that Iran is still committed to peace? I will be clipping this video and raising up the volume as best I can for the audio, but let's play it again.
Israel says that Iran violated the peace agreement and the ceasefire agreement. Do you believe that Iran is still committed to peace?
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too.
Are you questioning if Israel is committed?
Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I've never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because of one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Well, hey, Trump, you got us into it, but there has been an update. So, again, we're still looking a little bit more into this, but Donald Trump decided to have a little more of a press conference with the media. So I want to pull up this one right here as well, where Trump is engaging with the media and speaking with the press. So before we get our full analysis, I want to make sure that we at least cover this because they are asking more in regards to what kind of deal can be achieved, if it can be achieved. Let's play this.
Coming from the region suggests that the sides accuse each other for violating the ceasefire. So
I think they both violated it. I'm not sure they did it intentionally. They couldn't rein people back. I don't like the fact that Israel went out this morning at all, and I'm going to see if I can stop it. So as soon as I get away from you, I'm going to see if I can stop it, okay? I think it's been completely demolished. I think the reason we're here is because those pilots, those B-2 pilots, did an unbelievable job. And, you know, the fake news, like CNN in particular, they're trying to say, well, I agree that it was destroyed, but maybe not that destroyed. You know what they're doing? They're really hurting great pilots that put their lives in the line. CNN is scum, and so is MSDNC. They're all, and frankly, the networks aren't much better. It's all fake news, but they should not have done that. Those pilots hit their targets. Those targets were obliterated, and the pilots should be given credit. They're not after the pilots, they're after me. They want to try and demean.
You don't believe that Iran can rebuild its nuclear program?
No, Iran will never rebuild its nuclear. From there? Absolutely not. That place is under rock. That place is demolished. The B-2 pilots did their job. They did it better than anybody could even imagine. They hit late in the evening. It was dark with no moon, and they hit that target with every one of those things, and that place is gone. But when I see CNN all night long, they're trying to say, well, maybe it wasn't really as demolished as we thought. It was demolished. You take a look at the pinpricks, and you see that place is gone. And I will say, I think CNN ought to apologize to the pilots of the B-2s. I think that MSDNC ought to apologize.
MSDNC, you mean BSDNC. Quit copying me.
I think these guys really, these networks and these cable networks are real losers. You really are. You're real losers.
Israel says that they violated the peace agreement.
You're gutless losers. I say that to CNN because I watch it. I have no choice. I got to watch that garbage. It's all garbage. It's all fake news. But I think CNN is a gutless group of people. And the people that run it, nobody even knows it's been sold so many times. But the people that run it ought to be ashamed. MSDNC, a guy named Brian Roberts, he heads it. He's a disgrace. He's a weak, pathetic disgrace.
Israel says that Iran violated the peace agreement and the ceasefire agreement. Do you believe that Iran is still committed to peace?
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too.
Are you questioning if Israel is committed?
Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I'd never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because of one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Do you have a response to Iran on this?
Deflect, deflect, deflect. Deny, deny, deny. Deny, deny, deny. So there you go. That was the president of the United States. But here's what's happening right now. So Trump says Israel-Iran ceasefire is in effect after deal initially faltered. So what's happening here? U.S. President Donald Trump has now, after a firm and direct phone call with Netanyahu, President Donald Trump said a ceasefire between Iran and Israel was in effect Tuesday after the deal initially faltered, and the American leader expressed deep frustration with both sides. You know, the fact that these two countries have been, this is the first time we've seen them have a conflict. Remember, during the Biden-Harris administration, remember 2024? Remember that? This isn't the first time that they've done aerial strikes or missile bombardments against each other, nor will it be the last. There isn't going to be a long-lasting peace deal. Now, maybe for the moment, it'll halt. For the moment, maybe for a few days. There is talk about a 12-day ceasefire, but that's 12 days. Already, we saw last night, even I was debating last night, do I do an evening live stream and say ceasefire or no ceasefire? Right now, both sides seem to be calming down. Israel had earlier accused Iran of launching some missiles into their airspace, as this did happen. The Iranian military has denied firing on Israel, the state media reported, but explosions and sirens across northern Israel in the morning, and the Israeli military officials said 2 Iranian missiles were intercepted. So that means, was there a missile intercepted? Was there a bomb that happened? False flag? I'll let you decide. Flip of a coin. No such thing as a wrong answer, but tensions are still high. Now, of course, when we saw Trump departing from the White House, he's trying to urge for peace, to which he tweeted this out or posted on Truth Social. Israel is not going to attack Iran. All planes will turn around and head home while doing a friendly plane wave. What does a friendly plane wave look like? Nobody will be hurt. Ceasefire is in effect, Trump said on his troops. Again, this was posted on his Truth Social. So what does a friendly plane wave look like? Well, hey, listen, hey, we all might die from nuclear fire or either that. Hey, someday we'll all die. But so here's an interpretation of a friendly plane wave. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's a friendly plane wave, or this. Never heard of a friendly plane wave. I wonder if the people of Lebanon or Syria or the people in Gaza were given a friendly plane wave. What does that look like? No such thing as a wrong answer. Throughout history, attack planes and bombers, friendly plane wave. What does that look like? What is a friendly plane wave? Hashtag plane wave. Are you going to do one? Does Boeing do friendly plane waves, or does it just fall apart under the pressure? Was that too soon? I should not have said that. I should not have said that at all. Perhaps I shouldn't have said that at all. But we're right now looking at a full-on potential maybe ceasefire. And for that, I invite it. I do invite for a ceasefire. I hope that he is successful in doing a ceasefire. But the one thing is that we should not have gotten involved. We should not have done these strikes. We should not have flown into their airspace. Our pilots should not have been there in the first place. And to anyone that's saying, oh, job well done, Mr. President, well, no, not job well done. We have actively shown the international community, from Russia to China to everyone else around the world, that we will get actively involved and further push ourselves to be involved in this conflict that Israel's in. It's not only the genocide in Gaza, but there's Lebanon, Syria, Iran, and Yemen. Like, there's got to be a pause here. After a while, it's got to come to an end. These wars have got to come to an end. And that's the thing that Netanyahu can't afford right now, because he needs his wag the dog kind of moment. Now, I don't know how the people of Israel feel of knowing that their prime minister had actually got their country involved with another superpower, a nation in the region, launching missiles. Now, I get it. Iran has a different type of military infrastructure altogether, but why take this risk? Why risk the lives of so many people? I don't want anyone to die. I don't want anyone to be suffering firsthand attacks. But this is the problem right now with the United States, as we have a lot of close ties, and again, more importantly, AIPAC. So for all the people out there that are saying, oh, the Trump deserves a Nobel Peace Prize, no. No. As far as I'm concerned, none of these presidents deserve Nobel Peace Prizes, including Barack Obama. All right? Drone commander-in-chief. He's got the World Heavyweight Championship belt. This is something that should enrage anyone across the political spectrum, because we have shown the world that we will get actively involved. This will also reinforce other nations that do have nuclear weapons not to decrease their piles, but to keep them, and controversial statement here, maybe build more missiles, more weapons of mass destruction. Is anyone not paying attention here? Is anyone aware of the overall madness that is before us? Because this is how we get stuck in this quagmire. This is how we get stuck in something, and there's no effective exit strategy. We already know that there are plenty of U.S. bases that are bordering Iran, be it in Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, United Arab Emirates, Qatar. Where else? Where else? Now, what I find fascinating, though, and I do have to call into question if maybe is this a fake fight? Because the Iranian government did say to the United States, hey, we're going to launch these missiles. We're going to launch these missiles at you, so get ready for this swing that's coming at you. And those missiles were intercepted. Like, I've seen my fair share of fights on the south side of Chicago in my time in the Marine Corps, and I've never seen in a fight where somebody says, I'm going to use my right fist and I'm going to punch you in the face, but you got to block it. And then the person says, all right, cool. I'll block it, and then I'm going to kick you with my left foot, but you got to block it. You know, I've only seen that kind of coordination in like WCW or ECW or WWE. I don't want to be paranoid here and say this is all one big distraction, but hey, it could be one big distraction. Could be, maybe. But why take the risk? Why take this risk at all? The only people that are laughing to the bank right now are those that are heavily invested in the military-industrial complex. Because if you think that this is going to stop Iran from building more ballistic missiles or investing into nuclear energy, you're wrong. They still got it. There are no ground forces. You could do aerial strikes. Do we have evidence that they have a weapon of mass destruction? Do we? We know that North Korea has them. We know China has them. We know Russia has them. I don't see us actively being engaged in any of those countries right now. And I got to reference again what happened in Libya. Look at what happened in Libya. Gaddafi complied with us. He did. And look, he said a lot of mean things about the USA. A lot of mean words. But the minute he decided to comply and go along and say, hey, all right, let's stop this nuclear program in Libya. What happened? Oh my goodness. It's like a light switch went on. All of a sudden, a political coup. He dies violently. And Libya has transformed from being at least a productive state to having open slave trade and so many other problems as well. And Hillary Clinton laughed and said, "We came, we saw, he died." That was a signal to the rest of the other international community. You play ball, you will get cooed. They don't like you, you get cooed. You said some mean words, you get cooed. Sort of like a thin-skinned person on social media who likes to say mean words and everything else but can't take it when the Uno reverse card is dropped on them. And that's the madness. That's the stupidity that's before us. Want to acknowledge the super chat. Israel took a morning dump on the USA's time. Well, Trump did have a firm but direct phone conversation with Israel, indicating, wait a minute, let's stop it. So I want to pull up something else here as well, because this was a conversation that Donald Trump did have, let's be clear on this one, did have with the press. So I want to pull this up here. So Netanyahu and Israel agreed to the bilateral ceasefire. This is right now from the Associated Press, with Iran in coordination with Trump after the country achieved all of its war goals, including removing the threat of Iran's nuclear and ballistic missile programs. It's unclear what role Ayatollah Khamenei, Iran's leader, played in the talks. He said early on social media that he would not surrender. Trump said Tuesday that he wasn't seeking regime change in Iran, 2 days after floating the idea himself in a social media post. "I don't want it," Trump told reporters on Air Force One. "Regime change takes chaos, and ideally, we don't want to see much chaos." Before the ceasefire was announced, Israel's military said Iran launched 20 missiles towards Israel. Police said they damaged at least 3 densely packed residential buildings in Israel. First responders said they retrieved 4 bodies from one building and were searching for more. At least 20 people were injured. Nobody needs to die. Nobody needs to die at all. And this conflict, as it stands right now in Israel, at least 28 people have been killed, more than 1,000 wounded in the war. Israeli airstrikes on Iran have killed at least 974 people and wounded 3,458 others, according to the Washington-based group Human Rights Activists. More on this detailed report. The group, which had provided detailed casualty figures from Iranian arrests, said of those killed, it identified 387 civilians and 268 security force personnel. The U.S. has evacuated some 250 American citizens and their immediate family members from Israel by government, military, and charter flights that began over the weekend, a State Department official said. Now, here's something else that's a kicker. There are roughly 700,000 American citizens, most of them dual U.S.-Israeli citizens, believed to be in Israel. So do we have an effective ceasefire? Do we have peace in our time? Have we achieved something? And the answer is, really, no, we don't. I mean, it's up in the air. It's a big shrug of the shoulders. Until next time. So all the while we are going to be on edge. All the while we're going to be waiting and wondering when the next shoe is going to drop. Is this what we want? Is this the great piece of our time that we will be achieving? You know, again, I could see the frustration in Trump's voice. I could hear it loud and clear for everybody to hear. I think it's important that we do hear it from the president, that we do hear it one more time.
Israel says that Iran violated the peace agreement and the ceasefire agreement. Do you believe that Iran is still committed to peace?
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too.
Are you questioning if Israel is committed?
Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I'd never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because the one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have 2 countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Do you have to respond to Iran?
So they don't know what the F they're doing. Well, there you go. That's the president. No one knows what the F they're doing, and we should not have been involved. So over the whole weekend, yes, I understand maybe tensions were high. I don't regret my opinions at all. I'm glad that there is. I hope the ceasefire deal is going to be achieved. I hope there's 12 days of ceasefire, just like 12 days of Christmas. Why not? I hope it's achievable. I hope Iran and Israel do not continue hostilities. I don't want Israel to bomb Iran. I don't want Iran to bomb Israel. I want Syria and Lebanon and Israel to cease fire. I want there to be a ceasefire between United States, Yemen, and Israel. And you know what? I want the genocide in Gaza to stop too. But you know, I've learned this harsh lesson. What I want to see happen doesn't happen. Because you have to remember that this all what the war in Gaza did was lay down the foundation for future wars. And we have the political instability in Syria. We have tensions between Israel and Lebanon, Yemen as well. And now, thankfully, hopefully, it will hold. It will hold. Maybe it'll hold. But already last night, there was questions in the air. Flip of a coin. Is there a ceasefire or is there not one? Well, let's hold our breath, shall we? But don't hold it for too long because you'll suffocate. So chances are maybe later this evening, I'll have to do an evening live stream and say hostilities have intensified. I don't want to do that. So when I clip this video will probably be old news maybe, or it'll be completely irrelevant. The only thing hilarious about it is Trump dropping the F-bomb. How about no bombs being dropped, verbally or the real ones? How about nobody dying? Maybe that's a bridge too far. Maybe I'm a dreamer. We should not be living our lives on edge like this. We already are hearing from Russia and China how to condemn what the United States has done, but at this point, it doesn't matter. The one funny note, I know, controversial statement, one funny note I could take from this is that as a 40-year-old millennial, I know I'm becoming old man Kit. I could say that maybe this is the 10th time I've heard World War III dropped in my lifetime on social media. This isn't the first time we've heard about World War III being posted on our social media timelines on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or X or on YouTube or Rumble. And it won't be the last. But I give you this warning. The next time, there may not be a next time. And the next time, things will get real.